All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of the Two Hard Things Weekly Wake Up. I'm Jay Teagues, and I have in studio with me the lovely Angie Betrayan. How are you doing this morning?
I am awake. I am
I
here. I made it. It's President's Day. I'm off
it
work
is
today.
it
Yeah.
is President's Day. What does that mean?
I don't know, Jay. What does
What
that
is
mean? Why
what
don't
is
you just
President's Day?
school the public on
Well,
President's Day?
well, for one, I don't know. I
I
don't
know.
know.
I was like, well,
I
shit.
think it's I
I'll
think it's
Google it.
Washington's birthday. I think it's Lincoln's birthday. That's a good question. What is President's Day? Why do we celebrate it?
Yeah.
Uh, but it is
I'm.
President because it catches me off guard almost every year. It's like, oh,
It's
there's a
a day
mattress
off
sale.
work. It is a day off work, but off school. President's Day. Let's see here. Let's
Yeah.
see what the internet tells us.
So, yeah,
So
Washington's birthday is a U.S. federal holiday celebrated on the third Monday of February in honor of George Washington, the first president of the United States. Increasingly, the holiday has become an occasion to celebrate birthdays of both President George Washington and Abraham Lincoln and mattress sales.
And I have this federal holiday falls on the third Monday of February, commemorating America's 45 commanders in chief. Grover Cleveland served 2 non-consecutive terms, so is considered the 22nd and 24th U.S. president.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, hey, we're here celebrating President's Day, which is awesome. Thank you, gentlemen, for all you have done for our country and all those going forward. Thank you. We appreciate
Yes, and some of you more than once.
Yeah, absolutely. So, aside from that, how's life treating you?
I am so sore today, Jay. Let me tell you. We went and we did some trail running this weekend out in St. James on some mountain bike trails.
Oh, yeah.
They were pretty technical. We did about 10 and a half miles and I bit it. I bit it so not too hard, but I still bit it. And at 46, biting it at landing soft or landing hard is biting it, right?
Yeah.
So, and I didn't hurt myself, thank God. Like as I was looking around, I'm like, thank God where I fell, my shoulder kind of dug into the mud and I like slid a little bit. So I'm just kind of sore, just working that out. My body's like, so I went and got a massage yesterday. Getting in those Taji miles though. Taji miles, yeah, we went and walked about 6.5 miles yesterday after doing the 10.5 on Saturday, which really helped, when you move your body, you lube your movement is lubricant.
Absolutely.
I moved and lubed my joints yesterday.
Yes.
So
Yes, that's why movement's so good. Well, let's. I want to dive a little more into that real quick. Before we do that, real quick, just shout out to our sponsors, real quick. Just real quick. Hey, if you've gained any insights or anything, you want to pay it forward to us. Go over to iTunes, leave us a review. It goes a long way for us to expand the algorithm there, so more people can find the podcast. Make sure you smash that subscribe button so you're notified of future episodes, and share it with a couple of your friends. We're trying to get the word out about what we're talking about here. Take a screenshot, share it, and we'd love to hear back from you. Like, what insider nugget did you grab onto? This episode is sponsored by Lions Guide. Lions Guide is a growth agency. We believe that everyone's a leader. We empower everyday people to become world-class leaders. And we believe that leadership is leadership with self and how to lead other teams more effectively. And, being the one in charge can be incredibly overwhelming. A lot of people are like, you know what? I'm not a leader because they don't lead anyone at work. Well, you know what? If you have a family, you're leading. If you're involved in organizations in some capacity, you're probably a leader. And, leadership is something that you can skill up on and you can improve upon. And, you can find yourself overwhelmed. You can find yourself lacking confidence. We work on all of those things. How do you lead yourself better? How do you lead other teams more effectively? And if you'd like to learn more about that, you can let Lions Guide help you solve your leadership challenges so you can increase your bottom line, find more peace. Go to lionsguide.com and learn more about all the things that we're doing over there. This episode is also brought to you by UARD, the University of Applied Research and Development, where we help veterans obtain their bachelor and master's degree in emergency management. Study abroad in New Zealand for a short trip, long tour. Funded by, you can use your VA benefits to pay for all the costs associated with your education. This is specifically for U.S. veterans. Gain maximum credit for your military service and experience in a non-traditional program where you get to experience New Zealand. you can go to www.uard.university or go over to dohardthingsnation.com, click on the link there, or reach out directly because I'm one of the associate professors there, and I will get you squared away. We have a webinar every other Tuesday, so if you'd like to join us on the webinar, I can get you the link. So aside from that, oh yeah, also you want some kick-ass gear? Got this nobody cares, work harder shirt. Angie's got her Do Hard Things hat. Go over to dohardthingsnation.com, grab yourself some merch over there. High quality apparel. We're getting ready to have a footprint over in our local PX. We're actually and another store here in town. So
I'm so excited about that.
More about that. Yeah, we're going to start rolling out, and we're scaling it up. We're scaling it up as I get out of the Army. So, all right. So, yeah, President's Day. How about that? We're both off today.
Yeah. So how are you doing? How are you doing?
You know what? Okay. How am I doing? That's a great question. I had an interesting experience yesterday because I have been on this up and down roller coaster, and I'm sure and as I talk to people that have transitioned from the military, it's just like a roller coaster of emotion. So I've been doing okay. I have, to be fully honest, I'm dealing with a lot of my feels right now as I transition from the military. Both excited, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little scared, nervous, and I'm just kind of going through, in my life in the Army, I've had my best days and my worst days. I'll be honest, yesterday, Lacey and I were running, and we had a conversation, kind of led to a small argument, and something interesting had happened. We went for a run. We left the run. We went to go have breakfast, and the local eatery was like out of internet, and they didn't have any internet, so they couldn't take card. I'm like, well, we never carry cash. So we went down to like this truck stop down the road, like miles down the road, because they said that Cable America was out everywhere. We didn't want to go bounce from place to place looking for a restaurant. I'm like, I know some place where Cable America doesn't reach them. We'll go down to this truck stop and get a good chow. And we went down there and started having breakfast. We ordered breakfast, and this guy walks up. He saw my my book. I had a third ACR book. He's like, I know you. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I heard his voice. So I'm like, I know you. Like, we deployed together back in 2003. He just started telling me like how great retirement's been for him. Like, he's been out for 5 years and things have been great. We kind of talked a little bit about deployment and some of the people that we knew. And it was just such an odd happenstance. Him and his wife were just traveling out to Branson. They were just coming back on his way back to another part of the state. And it was just such a freak happenstance at a moment in time that I needed to hear it. Like someone from my past at a very, just a tough period in my life, in the present moment, telling me that my future is going to be okay because he's walked that path without any prompting, like out of nowhere. It was so, it's like a law of attraction, spiritual moment in my opinion. And it gave me a lot of peace and comfort. And his wife was there and was kind of like giving Lacey some guidance too about what to expect. And here's my phone number if you need anything. It was such a cool moment. So I know that was a long-winded answer to how you're doing, because a lot of people are like, I'm doing great, I'm fine. Well,
no,
I like fine always.
Yeah, no, give me the long-winded answer. I like hearing about that. Yeah. That is, thank you for sharing that. That is really freaking cool.
Yeah, and I'm walking that path of all the uncertainties, and that's just life. It's just real life, and I like to talk about real life, and that's kind of I'm doing okay. I've been better. Been better, to be honest, but I've also been a lot worse. So that's how I'm doing.
That's good. I mean, hey, look, when you asked me this morning how I was doing, and I just went off the rails about my trail running and falling and how I'm feeling after, then you were like, hey, let's talk about our sponsors. I was like, woo, maybe I was just talking way too much.
No. I didn't mean to like blow it off like that. I wanted to get into that before we got into a deep conversation, because my next question for you was, I love the St. James Trail. Did you fall in the rock garden?
Did I fall in the rock garden?
Yeah, you were mountain biking. There's a rock garden part where it's like all really rocky.
Oh,
that's usually where people fall. That's where I fall.
It was at like mile 7, and so I don't know. I just remember it's probably because I was really tired and I wasn't picking up my feet. Because when you're out there, I have to remind myself, pick up your feet so I don't start dragging my feet. Yeah. So I'm sure somewhere around mile 7, I'm pretty sure, because one of our buddies, Dom, had to take off, and I just tripped and fell. But I don't know, because I remember as we progressed a little bit further, it was super, super rocky with like these big razor sharp edged rocks. And I'm thinking, my God, thank God I didn't fall here, because had I fallen here and then dug my shoulder or something
Yeah.
into one of these rocks, that could have been like really
It sounds like that you're in the rock garden area, because it's really like very difficult through there.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, that's one of the
But
great things about mountain or trail running.
yeah, but I'll tell you where we were. Have you ran out there at the Forest
Yeah,
City?
yeah.
Okay.
I've
So
raced out there, mountain bikes and all sorts of stuff.
the last two loops are the most beautiful loops. The last
Mhm.
two really hard loops. It's got like these big rock walls, and then this uh rock you can walk out, and it's like this big cliff looking deal. Do you know where I'm talking about? Like, it's
Yep.
like that fall happened before all. Oh my God, it was just. I'm like, oh wow. I mean, I'm just glad that we kept going. That I didn't take that shortcut on the road to go back to the car, and just it was great.
Yeah. No, it's a beautiful trail. They're
Yeah,
actually doing a trail building coming up. So yeah.
I
Well, it's
think I saw
awesome.
that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Taji's going good for you.
yeah, yeah.
For those that know,
Getting there.
Taji 100 is like an annual February event. I got derailed a little bit by a little illness and sickness, so I'm trying to play catch up on that. So we got about another 8 days to go. You got to get 100 miles, or well, I've added swimming and cycling and other stuff. But it's really
Rowing.
just a challenge to get the body moving. So
Yeah, I wish I really like the Taji 100, and I kind of wish there was something like that every month.
yeah, I think having challenges something to work for, especially like it's become a February tradition, and Februarys are tough here in the Midwest, so it makes February go by faster.
Come to think of it, there is something that we could do like that every month. I mean, I don't know, E3 challenge maybe? I don't.
Well, I was just looking. We did the march. We did the march to Ukraine this time last year as well. So we're due
That's
for
right, we
another
did.
virtual challenge. So
Yeah.
we do something along with the E3. I got a couple other things in mind for the E3, because it's I'll talk to you about that later.
Yeah.
We'll roll that one out. So
Yeah.
but this week we wanted to talk about the greatest human desire, and the greatest human desire is to feel loved and appreciated. It's the number one human. It's the one thing that we all crave. We humans are tribal. We need to feel like we're appreciated and that we're loved and we're cared for. And from a leadership perspective, we talk about this over in the Lions Guide. Like, people don't quit jobs; they quit leaders because they don't feel appreciated.
That's
So this
true.
isn't just loved and appreciated by your significant other. It's every relationship that you have is feeling like you have a place.
Mhm.
And when you don't feel loved and appreciated by someone or an organization, it tends to not feel so good. And what we wanted to kind of do this morning is to kind of really just kind of highlight that, and then talk about the love languages, because it wasn't until later in my life that I didn't even know what the love languages were.
Mhm.
And in the Forge, we had this topic. We bring it up at least once a year and retake the test, because there are 5 love languages. And if this is the first time hearing them, great. But if you even know what they are, great, because your love languages change and those around you can change, which we all found out when we retook the test. A few of us had, a different love language than from a year ago, which we found kind of interesting.
Mhm.
And if you don't know what the love languages are, you may try to show appreciation and love to someone, but it won't fall the same, because you're not speaking their specific language, which is why it is so incredibly important to know what they are.
Yeah.
So the question that I will read, this is one that we popped up, is I feel a consistently deep, trusting, appreciative, soulful, loving connection to my significant other. I'm patient, respectful, and attentive to my partner's needs. And if you're single, I live each day through my heart and demonstrate compassion and love for others. And if you were to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, what would that be? And you could modify that for every close relationship in your life. And I like the rating system, because it kind of like, it's hard to like put a data point on it, but when you can
Mhm.
rate 1 through 10, which is often what we use when we have our Forge calls, it enables you to like just determine like where I'm at. Am I a 5? Am I an 8? Am I
Yeah.
10? Like, where am I? And it's like you usually have a light bulb moment. Like, you know what? I do need to show up in this area a little bit more. Or hey, you know what? Things are going really well over here.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What do you think about the greatest human desire and feeling loved and appreciated?
Well, so I like the 5 local excuse me, I like the 5 love languages, just because it's so easy to understand. And as far as yeah, I mean, I found it interesting. Well, I didn't find it interesting. I found it actually I kind of knew already at this point in time in my life, I scored highest on acts of service.
Mhm.
So my highest score was on acts of service, and then quality time and physical touch came in number 2. They tied number 2. And that didn't surprise me at all. Um, just knowing me and like I can tell you probably 5 years ago, physical touch or quality time would have rated higher than acts of service. But right now, the biggest thing that puts a smile on my face and just warms my heart and says, "Oh my God, that man loves me," is when he goes and takes my car and fills it up with gas for me. I mean, that's just the thing that I'm just like, "Oh my God, he loves me. He puts gas in my car for me," you know? Or if I'm coming home and I'm like, "Hey, I need gas." He's like, "Oh, I'll meet you at the gas station." And he meets me at the gas station and will go pump my gas for me. I mean, it's just like and I'm like, "Yep, I got a winner. I'm keeping him." That's it just makes me
I
feel so loved.
I always found the acts of service so bizarre because it's like yours is filling up the gas. I know for other people, it's like I love it when my husband does the dishes and
Yes.
folds the towels. Like that's so weird that you would find like that much like love and happiness from a task like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's that's what it is. And that's the thing because I've worked with people and couples and it's like I've been trying to show her I love her with gifts and I've been giving her
Mhm.
this and that because that's my
Yeah,
love language and but it's like that's not what does it for them. They want you to go fill up the gas. They want you to go mow the
yeah,
yard or whatever, or
yeah.
well, let's recap all of
Okay,
the love
okay. Yeah,
languages real
yeah.
quick. So the first one is words of affirmation. Words of affirmation. So paying compliments to someone, right? The second one is acts of service, so doing something for someone. The third one is gifts. Fourth is quality time, spending good quality time, and then physical touch.
Mhm.
So those are the five.
Yeah.
Those are the five, and you have your own love languages. There's a quiz. If you go to fivelovelanguages.com, you can take a free quiz. You need to know what your love language is and realize that your love language isn't the same as other people and try as hard as you might. We naturally gravitate to what our love language is for love. But if it's not the person you're trying to extend it to, as hard as you may try, and you get frustrated if you're not depositing the right love in the right bank account, it's not going to be reciprocated as well as you think. If that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is
Yeah,
why
I
this is so
actually,
important.
I had my son and his girlfriend take this test this weekend,
Mm-hmm.
and we kinda had a chance to talk about it when we had a short little road trip, and, um, it was it's like I said, I like it because it's very simple, it's easy to understand, and the concept is easy. It's just like with communication, right? If you're not communicating in a way that is healthy and positive and you're both receiving and giving good communication, it's not going to work. And this is the same essentially the same thing. I mean, it just helps you communicate better, and so you
Yeah,
can know
absolutely.
where your partner stands and where you stand.
Yeah, so we take the test, it gives you different percentages. Because even though you might have a number one, you're also feeling love with number two and number three.
Yeah.
Because I know that like when I work or whatnot, like I'm pretty much a quality time
Hmm.
person. But like from a work perspective, I like words of affirmation a lot. I mean, it's ranked pretty high up there too. And I like to know that I'm doing a good job.
Yeah.
And so the words of affirmation, like in work culture, makes me feel appreciated.
Hmm.
So it's good to know that and about the people that you're around. I had my kids take it, I've got triplet daughters. And,
Hmm.
what's been fascinating to me is they've grown up in the exact same environment. They're all completely different people and they each have different love languages. And
Hmm.
it explained a lot. Like Sam gives, like we call them the Sam hugs, because she'll come up and like squeeze you like so hard, it's almost like takes your breath away.
Uh-huh.
And in her love language is physical touch, and it makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense. I'll get a hug from her every night before she goes to bed. She's very consistent by it. The other two, I will never, not hardly ever. I gotta remind them or like go chase them down to get a hug. So it's quite fascinating how everyone is a little bit different.
Yeah.
So your acts of service, what's Rudy?
I don't know. I'd send it to him and ask him to take it. I don't know if he's taken it yet. I don't know.
Rudy, you
I'm
got to
not
take that
sure.
test, bro.
Yeah, he's got to take it. I don't know. I'm just kind of rolling with. He's happy. He seems happy. But
That
yeah,
dude always has a smile on his face. I've never seen someone so
yeah,
happy. Generally, so
yeah. He is. He
well,
is.
it'll be interesting. Well, take that test, Rudy.
That's
Awesome.
right.
Next week, then.
Yeah, I'll have
Take
to
the
remind
test
him.
yet? Yeah,
Yeah, I'll
but it's
remind him
important.
today.
Like,
Or off today.
yeah, it was interesting because like Lacey had physical touch, then hers changed to words of affirmation. She kind of called it before she took the test. She's like, I think mine have changed, and it was words of affirmation. So they can change. That's why it's good to take it every now and then to see where you're at. So
yeah. But like I said, my what was it? Physical touch and quality time came in. Was that what it was? Hold on. I have it pulled up here. Words of affirmation and physical touch is what tied. Words of affirmation. And I knew physical touch. Actually, I kind of thought physical touch was like would be my highest. Just because I mean, my family, it's so crazy because growing up, like we all get together and we just like hug each other and lay on each other, and we like have to be touching each other. And I mean, it's just a thing. Like I thought that was normal in all families. You go sit on a couch and you don't sit across the couch from one of your family members. Like you sit up next to them, and then I mean, we're just like all up in each other's space. So I just assumed that's just what we all did. And then I grew up and realized, oh no, a lot of people do not like to be touched. So I've learned to ask, hey, are you a hugger? I don't just run up and hug people anymore. Like, can I touch you? I don't. And a lot of people are like,
some
no. And I'm
people
like, okay.
social distancing wasn't that difficult for them because they've been doing it all their life.
Yeah.
I'm one of those. I'm not as bad as like I personally have been really working on that myself. I'm not naturally a hugger or toucher. I have to think about it. It does feel good to get a hug from somebody, but I find myself like I've got to like kind of force myself to do it because it wasn't something that I grew up with. And so it's just interesting, people's backgrounds and where they come from and how they do things. And so
well, yeah. And I actually I kind of wonder, because it comes so natural and it's something that I don't even have to think about. Maybe that's why I didn't score number one on that. I don't know. And it just could be where I'm at in life. But physical touch is always something. It's just deeply ingrained in me. I like touching people.
What? when I talk about this test, now here's a pitfall because someone might be listening to this. They're like, oh, you know what? I like that. So that's got to be my love language. They start thinking about people and they like, I think that's that person's love language. I thought the same with my kids. You got to take the test because if you think what your love language is, it's probably going to be different. And those people that you perceive their love language, you got to get them to take the test because what you think is not true. Probably there's a good chance it's not true because people will be like, you know what? I thought the same with my kids. I tried to pick it out beforehand. I was wrong. So take the test. It literally takes like 3 minutes.
Hey, we got somebody asking for it. We got to link the test in the comments or the show notes because we got somebody that needs a link for that test. Yeah, you can take it for free.
Yeah, it's free.
You can take it for free.
And you got one for
good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So take the love language test. It's a simple thing, but man, it makes all the difference in the world. Have that knowledge I don't know why it's not taught like in high school or at an early age. This should be common knowledge. I stumbled across it when I read the book, and I didn't read the book because it sounded gooey and mushy. I'm like, until
actually
I was like in my mid-30s. Yeah.
Look, I'm not even gonna lie. This book's been around a while, and I would see it, and I'm like, I don't want to. Nah. I'll move on to the next one.
Yeah, I don't want to read that book. No, come to find out, like it's so incredibly important. Like it should be like something taught in school. It's that important, and it's a quick lesson.
I mean, if we could get that maybe, and a deep dive into everyday finances for our high schoolers. I don't know, middle schoolers.
I think the world would be a better place with these simple concepts if they were common knowledge. So, yeah.
Don't get me on a tangent. Let's maybe we could talk about our weekly wake up winner.
Yeah,
Before
sounds
I go off the
good.
rails here and talk about what we.
Speaking of love and appreciation, that's what we love to do around here. We like to appreciate people that are out there getting after it. And let me share my screen here. Here we go. Wow, the thing here has changed. Oh, StreamYard's changed.
Oh.
Give me just a second here. What's going on? What's going on? Share screen.
Oh, Lacey, I see. Thank you. I'm glad I'm okay too, Lacey. Thanks. Okay is a relative term.
Oh, it gave me more options here. I noticed every now and then I'll log into these systems. I don't know if you've noticed, like you log into Zoom, like all the buttons are different. Anyway, all right. Hey, here, this week's weekly wake up winner is Matt Larson. Matt Larson has been getting after it. He joined us last year with the March to the Arch. Or not March to the Arch, the March to Ukraine, our virtual event. And he wore his Go Ruck Yourself shirt to one of the Go Ruck Star Course events. And if you've never done a Go Ruck before, highly recommend. They're fantastic events, and the Star Course is no joke. It's a grueling physical event where you got to carry a rucksack and you're with a bunch of other like-minded patriotic people. It's usually led by some special forces cadre, and they're usually done in a major city, so it's super cool. But Matt Larson's been getting after it. He wants to be a shining example for his family, and there's him at an adventure race where he was out there with one of his young ones out there getting after it. So he's, it's awesome to see people like, you know what, I want to be inspiring to those around me. And I'm going to start by, focusing on myself, to getting my health and fitness in check and being an inspiration to others. So Matt, thank you for what you're doing. We just continue to cheer you on in your journey. We want to honor you by giving you a Do Hard Things Nation shirt. So thank you for being a part of the community. Thank you for role modeling the way for those around you and getting after it.
Heck yeah. Congratulations, Matt.
Yeah.
Getting after it.
Keep doing hard things, brother.
Yeah. I think I first noticed Matt this go around for the E3 challenge. I didn't realize he'd been in the group since last year, since the ranking challenge.
He's been around for a minute, so getting after it, the E3 challenge, kicking some tail there, and it's awesome. It's always great to be around inspiring people that are getting after it. It's positive people, right? So we're talking about it the other day, like social media. We had a conversation in the main group, and it was like, you know what, social media is really getting me down, and I'm really struggling with just the negativity of the news and other people's opinions about. And that's been a common thing. I've noticed that a lot. And you got to find a tribe of people that are getting after it, that are positive. And you can curate. That's what I love about, like, I've never physically met Matt Larson, right?
Right.
But this is cool because we're interacting. When you have a Facebook group, like, you can curate your social media. And people in your social media can become family to you because there are people that you interact with. So I guess my point is, surround yourself with the right people, and you can curate your social media to where it's primarily positive people. You can unfollow people, and you can
I was about to say that unfollow button. Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that you have to unfriend them in real life by unfollowing them. It's just turning the white noise down. I've got people that I love dearly that I just politically, I don't want to really have a conversation about, right? Because it's going to piss me off. But I love them to death. We just, we don't talk about those topics, or I just don't want to see them. We talk about them in an appropriate time and place,
right?
Or the news, or all the other stuff.
Right?
Like you can curate that. So
yes,
I guess that's my point.
You can turn the volume down, turn it down, not on us. Turn the volume up on us.
Yeah, you better crank that volume up. Talking.
But on all the other negativity, yes. Yeah, turn it down. And hey, Michelle, thank you so much. Michelle said she loves listening to us and it makes us happy and she's inspired by us. I am inspired by Michelle. I met Michelle several years ago at roller derby, and we both lost kind of touch. We both went separate ways, and now we've reconnected, and she is just kicking butt herself. You inspire me, Michelle. You're kicking butt. She's taking her health into her own hands, and she's really just getting out there and getting after it too herself. But to go back to your point on social media, absolutely, guys, unfollow and get that.
Unfollow and smash that subscribe button. Unfollow the negative people and smash that subscribe button.
Yes. And if you would love to see a whole bunch of selfies of me running and doing things, yes, feel free to send me find me on social media. Actually, you don't even have, all you got to do is follow me, because you don't even have to send me a friend request, because everything's public and you'll see me dying. I promise you, you'll never see an over filtered photo of me. Actually, it's completely the opposite. I try to find the worst photos ever, especially right after I've done a workout or something. I'll just take a selfie. And that way, when you see me in real life, you're like, wow, she cleans up very nicely. It is never the opposite. Like, you're never going to be like, is that her? I can't really tell, because normally she looks like a plastic Barbie something or the other. Nope. You're really going to be like blown away by actually how decent I look in real life compared to social media.
You posted a video like from you from a few years ago, I think.
Oh yeah.
Lacey and I were talking, like, she's like, this is Angie. I'm like looking, I'm like, it took me a minute. I'm like, that's Angie? Because I didn't know you before your big transformation, weight loss. And it's just really cool to see. Like, I see Jeff Knoll, same thing. Like,
I know.
I only know, Jeff, the one that's been kind of getting after it, not the previous version, right? And it's fascinating to me every time I see
yes,
like that.
Yeah, absolutely, Jeff. Yeah, we love, dude, I love watching him. And he's just so happy and inspiring and motivating. If you want to follow somebody that's just on it, Jeffrey Knowles. Jeffrey. Is that Jeffrey that's Jeffrey with a G. G-E-O.
Jeff with a G.
Joffrey.
Yep.
Joffrey Knowles. Yes.
Yep. Anyway, you want to get connected with the right-minded people, make sure you join the Facebook group, and that's it. What are you going to do the rest of President's Day?
Oh gosh, it is going to be, man. I know we're past our 30 minutes. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just
going long. It's all good.
Chit chatty this morning. It's going to be beautiful outside. If you're here in Missouri, mid Missouri, get your butt outside. It's going to be in the 60s. So if anything, if you got a dog, go walk your dog. Get your dog outside. Go walk yourself. Go walk your friends. Go run. Go and just enjoy. Just go sit outside and enjoy being outside, because it is beautiful. I was thinking about this yesterday. Last year, I'm getting these memories popping up. And from Taji last year, I call it my blanket coat, my super puffy coat that goes all the way down to my ankles, because it was so cold outside. And I'm like, man, I'm hoping that we have this really nice weather. I hope it lasts. I don't want to go back to the super cold. But to answer your question, I'm going to get outside and get after it today. Get those Taji miles in. I think I'm in the 70-something% right now. So maybe I really want to get a half marathon in. So I don't know.
Nice.
Maybe I'll do that. I don't know.
Just I feel like I'll just wing a half marathon whenever I want. Isn't that a great place to be in life in your fitness journey? Like, I think I'll do a half marathon. Maybe I won't. That's good.
Well, I mean,
prepared to do a half marathon.
That's right. Hey, you never know when you're going to need to do a half marathon.
That's what I tell my runners, try to get them prepared. Like, always be prepared for a half marathon, where you could, even if it was a challenging, you could still do it, right? And that's a good place to be. That's really a good place in your fitness to be. I can do a half marathon. My
goal is to be able to say, I just want to do a 50K today. That's my goal, because I know I can go out and do a half marathon and not die tomorrow, and be fine. But I want that. I want to be able to say next year, 50K. Yep. Yeah. I'm just going to go out and do a 50K.
Awesome. Well, I already gave my kids a heads up, like, hey, they're off school, so we're going to go and get outside at some point today. So we're going to hop in the truck and go do some stuff. Maybe go hike around somewhere. So.
Oh, cool.
But yeah. So
cool.
Looking forward to that. Well,
and
that's it. So, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just going to remind you and everyone else to make sure, no matter what you're doing, make someone smile today. Do something that makes you and someone else smile today. Make your kids smile today, Jay.
I will.
Get him out there. Yeah,
I will.
Make Lacey smile today.
Great advice. Lacey unfortunately went home yesterday, but I will call her, and she's on here this morning. So I
was gonna say you can FaceTime her.
I'll make her smile.
I love her smile. She's got a great smile.
She has a fantastic smile.
Yeah, she does, doesn't she?
Contagious. Yes.
Yeah. I like her smile.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, hey, that's it for today's episode. Enjoy your President's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Take the 5 love languages test. Make sure Rudy takes that.
Drink more water. Drink more
water. And we will see you guys in the next episode. Do our things.